and welcome to the Mourning Hope House. My name is Carly Runestad. I'm the Executive Director of Mourning Hope.
And I'm Pam Dinneen. I'm the founder of Mourning Hope and now the Clinical Operations Director. We are so excited to have you here. This is a dream come true for us. For 25 years, we've been providing grief support programs for our community, but we've gone from rec centers to churches to schools to leased spaces, and now we get our own permanent facility where we will have plenty of room and we don't have to have waiting lists, and we have room for program expansion, and it is super exciting. We're glad you're here with us.
We are about to take you on a tour of this house, and ideally we would be able to walk you through at this point in our campaign and our construction, but because of our environment that's obviously not possible right now. So we are staying 6 feet apart. I'm going to actually have Brandon take a little shot over here of the park, because we for the first time have 2 acres of parkland next to us, which is glorious. And we are located at Folsom and West A, right by Willard Community Center. And you can see this great parking lot that we have as well too, which those of us who've been with Mourning Hope for a long time will greatly appreciate, because we've never had that. And I want to also, before we go inside, just say a quick thank you to Sinclair Hilly architect firm, who has been so wonderful to work with, Hampton Enterprises, who is doing all the construction for this, Jerry True Design, big thank you for the interior design, and Don Colleen, who's been our owner's rep. So let's go inside.
The logo of Mourning Hope is a sun. So you'll notice in the design that we've created a lot of spaces with circles or sun designs. So you'll see curved walls and circular stairs. It's just really a cool design. And as families enter, they'll come to the gathering room, which is what you see here. We want it to be a warm, nurturing place where they can come and feel safe and secure as they come and talk about really difficult things. So we'll gather here. This is the space where all of them will come together. We'll also have a little kitchen area over there, so when we have family food night and the other kinds of things, we have spaces to serve it. Once the program's ready to begin, different groups will divide out based on their ages. So the children and teens will go up the circular stairs to their rooms, and the caregivers will go down the circular stairs to those rooms.
So I'm standing in front of our lead donor wall, which is right inside when you come into our house. So on this wall, we're going to have donors that are at the level of 10,000 and above and be able to highlight all of them. We have this wonderful sun design that Pam was just telling you about. It's going to be a sun that is made out of metal. And that is being designed by Swanson Russell and being created by Timco, so a huge shout out to them for that. Unfortunately, no, we're not going to be able to talk about all the different funders and donors for this today, but we will for sure bring you all out here to celebrate when this house is done. So what you're seeing right now is the wellness portion of our building, and the masterminds behind this was Community Health Endowment. We appreciate them stepping forward and helping make all of this possible. So there are 6 offices in this area. It has its own separate entrance, it has its own separate parking lot. It's connected to the house, our Mourning Hope side, and so people can come in and out of there, but it also can be its own separate entity. And the idea over here, what Community Health Endowment has stepped forward, is that we have other wellness services that we can provide. So we are looking for trauma therapists, we are looking for art therapists, we are looking for people who are focused on health and wellness and parenting and so many other areas that will complement the services that we have on the Mourning Hope side, but will also complement the neighborhood and will complement the city of Lincoln. So if you have any interest in being a part of this and being a partner with Mourning Hope, you can come join us. I'm going to show you one of the offices here, because they are really beautiful big offices that are available on this side. And I want to again just say a huge thank you to Community Health Endowment, Lori Seibel and their board of directors for making all of this possible over here.
As you're coming down the circular stairs, you'll see an area that we're going to showcase the quilts that the families make. Each family member makes a quilt block in memory of the person that they're here remembering. And so thanks to the Robert and Artist James Foundation, we have an area to showcase those quilts and then have a room that will have storage for them as well. So families will be able to see the finished quilt that they make. Then through those doors are 2 caregiver rooms. So we'll have 2 spaces for those caregivers when they come to group.
Well, you have now come into our community room. And by the time you actually see this video next week, I believe that all these walls will be drywalled and ready to go, so it'll look much different. But this is a room where we can have our large events, where we can do activities. The community can use this space. We're gonna have a kitchenette on this side. We're gonna have an opportunity for trainings down here because there'll be large screen TV and the technology abilities for that. But right behind me is the public donor walls. When we were upstairs, I showed you the lead donor wall, but this is the public donor wall. So this is also being designed by Swanson Russell. It's being created by Timco. It's based on the original design of Craig Smith from Speedway Motors. We are super excited about this space. On this wall, we are allowing the public to purchase a quilt tile, a mosaic quilt tile for $250 or above, where they can honor or memorialize their loved ones. So I would sure encourage you to go to our website, check out the opportunities to purchase a quilt tile in honor of your loved one.
Well, now you've entered the teen room. It's a little bit larger space than some of the other rooms that we have here, but we figure once the teens get in here, they're gonna kind of hunker down and stay where they are. So this area will have a large high top table for them to sit at, and this area will have some cushy seating. Then back here, we have a grief cave, and it will have a wall of plexiglass and a black light so that kids can go in and write messages, write notes to their loved one, write poems, or any way of expressing their grief in their way. So this is for teens. Right down the hall, you'll see another room that's kind of unique. It's the emotion commotion room. We know that kids grieve through their emotions, and those emotions don't always come out in words because a lot of kids don't have the exact words for all that they're feeling. So it comes out in behaviors. So we have a room designed specifically that has padding from ceiling to floor and all the way around. It will have emotions on the walls, and kids can go in and punch the punching bag or really bounce balls and do things that are really high energy kind of things in a safe way.
So right now what you're looking at is the game room, and this room was sponsored by Shields, and they have been so instrumental in designing the space and creating the space. And so behind me, actually over here, is where you're going to see a Miss Pac-Man game and a foosball table and air hockey, and behind our cameraman over here there'll be a basketball, an interior basketball hoop. So just a space for the teens and the older middle school kids to come and also just have some fun, because that's an important part of grieving as well too.
Now we're in a really cool round room that's intended specifically for the middles ages. So that will be ages 8 through 12 or so. The ceiling will have a big sun design when it's finished with a cool light also. There'll be seating around the edge that will have kind of a bench type seating, but then there'll be lots of open space in the floor to be able to do activities and move around and be more energetic.
So now we're standing in the quiet room, and as you can see from this space, it's very dark. It's very intentionally dark. We have no windows in here. The walls are a deep, deep purple. And what you're going to see eventually here is about 360 twinkling lights up on the ceiling, fiber optic lights. And one of the things that we love about this space is that kids often talk to us about how when they look up at the sky, they see their loved ones. They see them in stars, they see them in shooting stars. And so we're trying to create that space, a space where they can just be here. So this is a little opposite of the emotion commotion room from before. This is where they can be quiet. This is where they can meditate. This is where they can ponder and think and just be present. I want to say a huge thank you to H&L Electric, which is based out of Indiana. They're actually donating all of the fiber optic lights for this space, and Harz Electric, who is going to be installing it and also donating all of that. So this will be such a beautiful space long term.
This amazing space is going to be the art room. It's a place that we've made a little bit bigger again because we know that there may be kids of all different ages that come in to express themselves artistically and just get into their art. So we'll have tables of different heights, and we have cabinetry on both walls that they'll be able to store lots of supplies. There'll be sinks in the room and cubbies on the sides over here to display some of their artwork. We'll also have some really amazing windows to let in lots of light and high ceilings, so hopefully it'll be a place that inspires them to be able to express lots of things that are going on inside. We don't have a sponsor yet for this room, so if this art room seems appealing to you, give us a call.
So right now we're standing in the hospital room, and this room is probably the room that's been most confusing to people when they've seen it on our blueprints, because everyone wonders why we have a hospital room. But if you were a 6-year-old and the last place you saw Daddy was in the hospital, this would be a great place to express yourself. Or if you used to come to the hospital every week when Mommy got cancer treatments, again, a great place to play that out. So we are very thankful to Bryan Medical Center, who has stepped forward and has helped design this space. They are donating a hospital bed for in here. They are donating IV poles and x-ray machines and everything that will allow that child to be in here to play out their emotions and to be in control of the situation. And if you look over at this wall where you would normally see the door, what you'll see is that that will all be glass. So it'll be a glass window, it'll be a sliding glass door, again, just to be able to create that space of what a child might see in an emergency room or what they might see in an intensive care unit.
Now you're entering the theater and music room. It's been designed by Jeff Stannard from Doane University, and thanks to the Pearl Francis Finnegan Foundation, we are being able to supply this space with really cool things. It's got the black box feel of a theater, so kids will get that feel of being in an actual theater. There's a stage, and there'll be screens behind it that will have different settings, as well as some different props and things that they can use, and puppets. So they'll be able to act out their experiences or play through puppets, which is a great way for them to communicate what's really going on inside. Then over on this wall, we'll have mirrors set up, kind of like a makeup mirror in this backstage, and also costumes that they'll be able to put on. So it'll be a full room, but really lots of expression opportunities.
You'll see as we walk through here that all of these walls are rounded. There's lots of wonderful little spaces for the kids to be and to hide away in, but we very intentionally have these rounded walls, like Pam talked about with the suns, but it gives this feeling of not being in a classroom type of a setting. It gives almost a feeling of a hug as you walk through the house. So now we're gonna go down here and we're gonna walk into the playroom. This playroom is kind of a multi-purpose space for our younger kids. We're going to have a dollhouse area over here. We have a space for trucks and cars and motorcycles, ambulances, emergency vehicles, again, so that kids have that opportunity to play it out. We have sand tray area in this, and in this far corner over here, we actually have a time machine. So we have a student who graduated from Doane University that is creating a time machine for us. And it's an opportunity for kids to go in and turn back time to a time where maybe they didn't get a chance to say the last thing they wanted to say to their loved one. Or maybe to turn time forward to a time when their hearts aren't quite so sad anymore.
This is one of the favorite rooms because it is a house within a house. It's really for the littlest of the kids that we'll have here at Mourning Hope, and it's for them to be able to explore and again express through play, because play is their world. So they'll come in and this will be like the front yard of their house. There'll be a little white picket fence here that'll divide it out, and they'll have their opening group right here, and they'll be able to talk and share and talk with one another. Then when it's time for exploration time, we'll open up the house and be able to go in and see. There'll be a little kitchen set, there'll be a little table and a rocking chair, there'll be a little fireplace, and a place for them again to play out some of their experiences. They can even go up a ladder and down a slide, and then they'll be in the backyard where there'll be a little fire pit and a place for them to pretend to make s'mores and whatever else it might be that they do in the backyard. So it's a place for them to pretend but also act out some of what's going on in their lives. It mimics Mourning Hope, so they can talk more about their experiences at Mourning Hope, but it's also a house like it could be at home, so that they can talk more about that and play that out as well. We are very grateful for an anonymous donor who gave generously to make this room a very amazing room for little kids to play.
Well, again, we want to thank you for joining us on this virtual tour, and we are so excited when we can actually walk you through this space and when we can have those doors open. I want to say a special thank you to the Mourning Hope's Board of Directors who took a risk and made all of this possible. And to Team Hope, which is our capital campaign fundraising team, they have just been the heroes throughout this, and we so appreciate them. And all of the lead donors. We could not do this without you. What we know at Mourning Hope is that we are needed now more than ever. So I am making a plea to you that you think about how you can be involved in this campaign, how you can help us have those doors open when the time comes, and so that we can be here to make sure that no child ever grieves alone in our community.